I'm here to talk to you about an estate planning concept called funding. What is funding? How do you do it? And what does it really mean? I get a little quizzical look when I talk to clients for the first time about funding, or I'm talking to a room full of people at a workshop about funding. They look at me and the thought is, gee, I have to pay for something? No. What funding is, it's the act of renaming or retitling the asset that you have from your name personally into, for example, a trust. That process is called funding. To make it simple, I put it on the board here. I'm a real picture guy, I'm a visual learner, and what I like to do is show you visually what the funding process really is. When you create something like a trust, a revocable living trust here for example, what you're really doing is designing a box. And a revocable living trust is an open box. And in order to have things held in trust, we need to put items into this trust box. That process of taking things that you have on the outside of the box and putting it on the inside of the box, that is the process of funding. So think about this. During life you acquire a number of things. That's your property, and I've illustrated a variety of different examples, whether it's money in bank accounts or investment accounts, whether it's your home or other homes, whether it's a business or a limited liability company, or it's stocks, bonds, or it's even a 529 plan for our parents or grandparents out there that have opened up these 529 college savings plans. That can be something that you own, that is in your name. All of these things are items and assets that we may want to put into a trust after we've created it. And the act of funding is retitling and renaming those assets. So now instead of them being in your name, they're in the name of your trust. That's all it is. The meat of doing that, of course, requires a lot more conversation. It's particularly unique to each of your assets. And what you will need to do is sit down with an estate planning attorney, somebody like myself, who can review that process and plan for you. And really you should have a funding plan. We call it a pathway to funding, so that you know all the steps that you need to take, for example, to take your home and get it into this box, or to take that 529 plan and get it into the box. Whether it makes sense for you to do that. Everyone's circumstances is different. Just because you've created this trust doesn't mean necessarily that you may want to put that particular asset in it. So these are the conversations you will need to have when talking about your pathway to funding, for example. But I just wanted to make it less of a confusing topic and for you to understand that this is an essential component of your plan. Too often I see plans that are unfunded, meaning they're incomplete, where the people have done a lot of hard work in working with their attorney to create this box with all of their instructions and designs for the future, but they failed to put everything in the box that they wanted. Sometimes not a single thing is in it. And I've seen these situations play out at the worst possible times, after somebody's become incapacitated or died, and now it's too late to get them in the box. Now families are calling me in crisis to say, what do we do? And to prevent that from happening to you and your family, I want to make sure that you understand that this process of doing estate planning is not just simply creating a trust. There's more involved, and if anything, making sure that you're putting things into your trust and really engaging in the funding process, and so you fully understand. So that's my nugget of knowledge. Keep checking back for some more in the future. Thank you so much for your time, and go out and have a great week.